I learned that the hard way. 3 years ago, I stood in my garden in late April, seeds finally in hand, telling myself I hadn't missed anything important. By June, I was watching my neighbor's pool-matured zucchini while mine were still seedlings struggling in soil that had already turned hot and unforgiving. That gap, those 6 weeks I wasted, cost me an entire growing season of income. Here's what nobody tells you: the vegetables that generate the most profit don't reward the patient. They reward the early. The window for maximum yield on the most lucrative crops opens in March, and it slams shut faster than most gardeners realize. Ancient farming communities didn't pick planting dates randomly. They treated March like a vault door, one that opens briefly, and only for those who are ready. Modern growers who understand this? They're quietly harvesting crops in May and June that everyone else won't see until August, if they see them at all. Today I'm revealing 15 high-profit vegetables you absolutely must get in the ground this March, before the window closes and you spend another season wondering why your yields never match your effort. And stay with me until the end, because number 15 is a vegetable most gardeners completely overlook, yet it commands some of the highest prices at farmers' markets and sells out every single week. If you've ever felt like your garden works harder than your wallet shows, this list was built for you. Here's the frustrating truth most gardening channels won't say out loud. You're not failing because you're a bad gardener. You're failing because you've been given a calendar designed for hobbyists, not for people who want real results from their soil. The standard advice? Plant after your last frost date. Wait until the ground warms up. Don't rush it. Sound familiar? That advice isn't wrong. It's just incomplete. And that gap between incomplete and complete has been quietly draining your harvests for years. Think about last season. You waited for that safer window. You planted on schedule. You watered, you weeded, you waited. And then summer heat arrived before your cool season crops ever hit full production, and suddenly everything bolted, turned bitter, or simply stopped producing. That's not bad luck. That's a timing problem. Here's what nobody tells you: the most profitable vegetables are cool season crops. They don't just tolerate March temperatures, they demand them. The same cold nights that make you hesitate are the exact conditions that trigger the deep root development, the dense leafy growth, and the concentrated flavor that makes these vegetables worth premium prices. Miss that window, and you're not just planting late. You're planting into the wrong season entirely. And the cost compounds. Every week you delay in March is a week subtracted from your harvest window before summer shuts it down. A crop that should give you 8 weeks of production gives you 4. Your yield drops. Your market timing suffers. And the profit that was sitting right there in your soil disappears. The commercial growers at your local farmers market? They're not smarter than you. They're not working harder than you. They simply understood one thing earlier. March is not the waiting room. March is the starting line. The vegetables on today's list were specifically chosen because they perform best when started now, in soil that's still cold, under skies that are still grey. Some can handle a frost. Some actually improve with one. All of them will reward you with harvests that stretch deep into the season and command prices that casual gardeners never see. Here's the real reason this knowledge doesn't get talked about enough: there's no product to sell you here. No special fertilizer. No proprietary seed blend. Just timing, selection, and the willingness to get in the ground before everyone else. That's the edge. And today, it's yours. So let's get into the list. 15 vegetables. Real profit potential. All of them ready to go into the ground right now, in March, before the window closes. Remember, stay with me until number 15. It's the one most gardeners walk right past at the nursery. And it might be the most valuable plant you put in the ground this entire year. In this video, I'm walking you through 15 high-profit vegetables that belong in your garden this March, and only March gives you the full advantage they need to perform at their best. These aren't random picks pulled from a seed catalog. Every single vegetable on this list was chosen based on 3 criteria: early season hardiness, high market demand, and profit potential per square foot. Some of these will surprise you. A few of them you've probably never considered growing for income. And one of them, number 15, consistently sells faster than almost anything else at market, yet it's sitting in nurseries right now, overlooked by the vast majority of home growers. We're talking about vegetables that thrive in cool soil, handle late frosts without flinching, and produce harvests that you can bring to market or to your own table weeks before your neighbors have even finished planning their season. This isn't theory. These are real vegetables, with real growing windows, and real numbers behind them. Now, if you're someone who takes your garden seriously, if you want your soil to produce not just food, but genuine value this season, if you've been searching for the growing strategy that finally matches the effort you put in, then make sure you subscribe to this channel right now and hit the bell. Every week we go deep on practical, profitable growing strategies that don't waste your time. We're not here for decoration. We're here for results. And before we dive in, I want to remind you of something important. Vegetable number 15 on this list is the one I'd grow first if I were starting completely from scratch this March. It requires minimal space, almost no maintenance once established, and commands prices that will make you wonder why you haven't been growing it for years. But we build to it. Because by the time we reach number 15, you'll understand exactly why it works, and you'll be ready to put it to use immediately. Most people make gardening 10 times harder than it needs to be. But once you set up the right systems, your garden can almost run itself. I explain exactly how to do that in my ebook, The Lazy Gardener's 30-Minute Garden. You'll find the link in the description below. Go check it out and start building your low-effort garden today. Here's how this works. For each vegetable, I'm giving you the name, the profit potential, the key growing window, and the one fact about it that most growers never discover until it's too late. 15 vegetables. 1 March window. Let's not waste another day of it. Starting with number 1. Vegetable 1. Spinach. Spinach is one of the fastest cash-generating vegetables you can put in March soil. It germinates in temperatures as low as 35 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning it doesn't wait for warmth, it uses the cold. A single 10-foot row can produce multiple cut-and-come-again harvests, giving you weeks of continuous yield from one planting. Here's what most growers miss: baby spinach commands nearly double the price of full-leaf spinach at market. Harvest early, price higher. Demand for fresh, local spinach at farmers' markets consistently outpaces supply from April through June, meaning if you plant now, you are selling into an undersupplied market. Vegetable 2. Radishes. Radishes are the most underestimated profit vegetable in early spring. They mature in as little as 22 days, faster than almost anything else in your garden. That speed means you can cycle 2 or 3 harvests through the same bed before your summer vegetables even go in. French breakfast and watermelon radish varieties fetch premium prices at market and attract buyers who won't look twice at a standard red radish. Plant them as a border or gap filler and they pay rent on soil that would otherwise sit empty. Vegetable 3. Kale. Kale doesn't just survive frost, it genuinely improves after one. Cold temperatures trigger the plant to convert starches into sugars, producing a sweeter, more tender leaf that fresh market buyers actively seek out. It's one of the highest yield vegetables per square foot in the cool season, and it continues producing long after other vegetables have finished. Lacinato and red Russian varieties command the strongest prices. Plant in March and you'll be harvesting well into summer, and again in autumn if you time a second planting right. Vegetable 4. Peas. Peas are a March non-negotiable. They require cool soil to develop properly, plant them too late and they simply won't set pods before heat shuts them down entirely. Sugar snap varieties are your highest earners, sweet, crisp, and eaten whole with no prep required, which makes them a farmer's market impulse buy. Customers grab them and eat them walking. A well-supported pea trellis in a small space can produce a yield that surprises even experienced growers. Get them in the ground now. Every week you wait is a week stolen from your harvest window. Vegetable 5. Lettuce. Loose leaf lettuce cut at the baby stage sells at a premium that heading lettuce simply cannot match. March is its ideal planting month, Cool air, cool soil, and no bolting pressure yet. Succession plant every 2 weeks starting now, and you create a continuous harvest stream rather than one overwhelming flush. Specialty mixes, red oak leaf, butterhead blends, frilly varieties command prices 2 to 3 times higher than standard green leaf. Restaurants and market shoppers pay for color and variety. Give them both. Vegetable 6. Swiss chard. Swiss chard is one of the most visually striking vegetables you can bring to a market table, and visual appeal sells. Rainbow chard varieties in red, yellow, orange, and white stop buyers in their tracks before they've even read your sign. It tolerates cold soil beautifully, establishes quickly in March, and produces continuous harvests for months without needing replanting. What most growers don't realize is that chard bridges the gap between spring and summer production. When other cool season vegetables are finishing, chard keeps going. That extended harvest window means extended income from a single planting investment. Vegetable 7. Arugula. Arugula is a stealth profit vegetable. It grows faster than almost any salad green, reaching harvest size in as little as 30 days from seed. Its peppery, distinctive flavor means it doesn't compete with standard lettuce. It commands its own premium price point entirely. Restaurant buyers specifically seek it out for salads and pizza. Direct sow thickly in March, cut at 3 inches, and it regrows reliably for multiple harvests. Here's the detail most growers overlook: arugula that experiences a light frost actually intensifies in flavor, making your March planted crop better than anything grown in warmer conditions. Vegetable 8. Broccoli. Broccoli started in March hits the market during a window when local fresh broccoli is virtually unavailable, and that scarcity is your advantage. It needs 6 to 8 weeks of cool temperatures to develop properly, making March the precise starting point for a late May harvest. The main head is your primary yield, but the side shoots that follow are where experienced growers make their real money, weeks of continuous smaller harvests from a single plant. Calabrese varieties are your strongest market performers. Buyers who find fresh local broccoli in May will come back for it every single week. Vegetable 9. Turnips. Turnips are the quietly profitable vegetable that most home growers dismiss entirely, and that's exactly why the opportunity exists. At market, small, tender, early-season turnips are a specialty item that chefs and food-conscious buyers actively hunt for. They mature in 35 to 50 days, handle frost without damage, and use minimal space. Hakurei, the Japanese salad turnip, is your highest value variety. It's sweet enough to eat raw, marble smooth, and looks premium on any market table. Grow what your competition ignores, and you own a market category entirely to yourself. Vegetable 10. Cabbage. Cabbage planted in March produces heads that mature before summer heat causes splitting and quality loss, the most common reason home growers get disappointing results. Early season cabbage heads are dense, sweet, and store well, which gives you flexibility on timing your sales. Savoy varieties command premium prices at specialty markets and with restaurant buyers. Plant transplants now rather than direct seeding, and you gain 3 to 4 weeks on your timeline. One thing most growers never discover: early cabbage sold by the head at market consistently outsells summer cabbage at nearly double the price. Vegetable 11. Kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is one of the most misunderstood vegetables at any market table, and that mystery is your marketing advantage. Buyers stop, point, and ask questions. That curiosity converts directly into sales. It grows rapidly in cool March soil, maturing in just 45 to 60 days, and handles light frost without any damage to quality. Purple Vienna variety is your strongest visual performer. It looks unlike anything else on your table and photographs beautifully for social media, which drives additional market traffic. Slice a sample, let buyers taste it raw, and you'll sell out consistently. Give people something they've never grown before, and they'll remember exactly where they got it. Vegetable 12. Bok choy. Demand for Asian greens at farmers' markets has grown steadily for years, and bok choy leads that category. It matures in as little as 45 days, tolerates cold soil exceptionally well, and produces a clean, professional-looking head that presents beautifully at market. Baby bok choy, harvested small at 4 to 6 inches, commands premium prices and sells to restaurant buyers who need consistent, high-quality supply. Here's what makes it especially valuable in March: it bolts quickly in summer heat, meaning growers who miss the cool season window simply cannot produce it at the same quality. Your March timing creates a product that late planters literally cannot replicate. Vegetable 13. Cilantro. Cilantro is a cool season herb that most growers treat as an afterthought, which is exactly why it represents such a reliable profit opportunity. It bolts rapidly in heat, making the March planting window the single best opportunity to produce full, lush, marketable bunches. Successive sowings every 2 weeks through March and April give you a continuous harvest before summer ends production entirely. Fresh cilantro bunched and sold at market or supplied to local restaurants moves fast and requires almost no space. Buyers who cook regularly, and there are many, purchase it weekly without hesitation. Low input, high turnover, reliable demand. Vegetable 14. Beetroot. Beetroot started in March, produces harvests in June and July when fresh local beets are scarce and market prices reflect that scarcity. Chioggia and Golden varieties are your premium earners. Their striking interior patterns make them a specialty item that standard red beet simply cannot compete with. Roast one, slice it open at your market table, and the visual does the selling for you. Beet greens are an additional revenue stream most growers throw away, bundle them separately and price them as a bonus product. 1 planting, 2 sellable products, 1 small patch of March soil. Vegetable 15. Microgreens. This is the one. The vegetable, if you can call it that most growers walk straight past, yet produces more profit per square foot than almost anything else you can grow. Microgreens are harvested at just 7 to 14 days after germination. They require no outdoor space, no complicated setup, and minimal investment. Pea shoots, sunflower, radish, and broccoli microgreens command prices between $25 and $50 per tray at market and through restaurant supply. Chefs treat them as a premium ingredient. Health-conscious buyers treat them as a weekly essential. Start them in March indoors while your outdoor beds are still being prepared, and you're generating income before a single outdoor vegetable has even germinated. This is the vegetable that changes the financial equation of your entire garden operation. And it was sitting in plain sight the whole time. Imagine walking into your backyard and harvesting fresh vegetables, herbs, and flowers without spending hours working in the garden. That's exactly what I show you how to do in my ebook, The Lazy Gardener's 30-Minute Garden. It's packed with simple systems, time-saving tricks, and plants that practically grow themselves. Click the link in the description below and grab your copy so you can start building your lazy garden today. Now, before we move into the next part of this video, I want to stop here for a moment. If you've made it this far, you're not watching this for entertainment. You're watching this because you're serious about what your garden can actually produce. You're someone who wants real returns from real effort, and that's exactly the kind of grower this channel exists for. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week we go deeper on practical, profitable growing strategies built for people who treat their garden as more than a hobby. You won't find filler content here. Just actionable information that goes directly into your soil and shows up in your results. Now, a quick reminder of why staying till the very end of this video matters. We've covered 15 high-profit vegetables that belong in your March garden. But knowing what to plant is only half the equation. Coming up, we're going to cover the section that most gardening videos skip entirely, and it's the section that separates growers who see good harvests from growers who see great income. We're talking about the exact reason why this knowledge doesn't get pushed by mainstream gardening media. Why the most profitable cool season vegetables are consistently underrepresented in standard gardening advice. And what that means for you as someone who now knows what others don't. But first, here's something most growers never discover until their 3rd or 4th season. The difference between a profitable March garden and a mediocre one isn't just variety selection. It's layering. The growers who generate consistent income from cool season vegetables aren't planting one bed of one vegetable and waiting. They're stacking varieties with different maturity windows, fast crops like radishes and arugula coming in at 22 to 30 days, mid-range crops like spinach and lettuce at 40 to 50 days, and longer crops like broccoli and beetroot at 60 to 80 days. That staggered timeline creates a continuous harvest flow rather than a single overwhelming flush followed by nothing. Plant your fast crops first. Use them to generate early income while your slower crops develop. By the time your radishes have cycled through 2 full harvests, your kale and chard are ready. By the time those are in full production, your broccoli is heading. The garden never stops producing, and neither does the income. This is the system experience market growers use. It's not complicated. It doesn't require more space. It just requires the decision to start now, in March, before the window that makes all of it possible begins to close. You've got the list. You've got the layering strategy. Now let's talk about why most people never hear any of this, and what that means for those who do. Let's be honest about something for a moment. Why doesn't this information get talked about more? 15 profitable vegetables, a clear planting window, a simple layering strategy, none of this is complicated. So why isn't every gardening channel, every seed catalog, every mainstream growing guide leading with it? Here's the real answer. There's no product to sell you here. No proprietary seed blend. No expensive soil amendment. No specialty fertilizer that makes March planting work. Just timing, variety selection, and the willingness to get outside while everyone else is still waiting for perfect conditions. That's not a story that moves product off shelves. So it doesn't get told. Meanwhile, the commercial growing operations, the ones quietly supplying restaurants and farmers markets with premium cool season vegetables every spring, have understood this calendar for decades. They're not sharing it loudly. Why would they? Every grower who doesn't plant in March is one less competitor at the market in May. The Amish farming communities have followed this exact planting rhythm for generations. Small-scale market gardeners who've been doing this for 20 and 30 years plant by it instinctively. It's not secret knowledge. It's just practical knowledge that doesn't get monetized, so it doesn't get amplified. But you've watched this far. Which means you now have the same calendar the experienced growers work from. The window is open right now. The soil is ready. The demand will be there in May and June when your harvests arrive, because your competition waited, and you didn't. That's the entire advantage. It was never more complicated than that. Let me give you something concrete to hold onto. A single 4x8 raised bed planted with a layered mix of the vegetables on this list, started in March, can realistically generate between $200 and $400 worth of produce across a single cool season. That's not a projection. That's the math of market pricing applied to average yield figures for cool season vegetables grown in optimal timing conditions. Which March provides. By week 4, your radishes and arugula are ready for first harvest. By week 6, your spinach and lettuce are producing cut-and-come-again yields. By week 8, your bok choy and kohlrabi are market-ready. And your microgreens? Those started generating returns in week 2, before anything outdoors had even established properly. I've followed this exact planting calendar for years. The springs where I started in March consistently outperformed the springs where I waited, without exception. Not marginally. Significantly. Earlier harvests, longer production windows, better quality produce, stronger market prices. The sensory markers are unmistakable when you get the timing right. Cool season vegetables grown in genuine cool conditions have a crispness, a density, and a flavor depth that warm season planting simply cannot replicate. Buyers notice. Restaurant chefs notice. And they come back for it specifically. If your first harvests come in and the leaves feel soft or the radishes are pithy, your soil worn too fast. Get a shade cloth over the bed and harvest earlier next time. The plant will tell you what they need. Learn to read them and they'll rarely disappoint you. The proof isn't complicated. Earlier planting equals longer windows equals more harvests equals more income. March makes that equation work. Now let's close this out the right way. These 15 vegetables are more than just a planting list. They represent something that experienced growers understand deeply, that the most valuable thing in a garden isn't the seed or the soil or even the labor. It's the decision to act at the right moment. Before the window closes. Before the season turns. Before everyone else finally gets around to it. March has always been the month that separates intentional growers from reactive ones. The ones who treat their garden as a genuine productive system versus the ones who treat it as a warm weather hobby that starts when conditions feel comfortable. Nature doesn't reward comfort. It rewards timing. Every vegetable on this list was put here by design, not because they're exotic or complicated or require special knowledge to grow, but because together they create something more valuable than any single harvest. They create a system. A layered, continuously producing, income-generating system that starts in cool March soil and pays you back through spring and deep into summer. That's what this month offers. Not just vegetables. A different relationship with your land entirely. The farmers who built food security for their families across generations didn't wait for perfect conditions. They worked with the season they had, the cold ones, the uncertain ones, the ones that looked too early to bother with. March was never too early. It was always exactly right. You now have the list, the strategy, the timing, and the understanding of why it works. Everything you need is already available to you. The only question left is whether you act on it before the window closes, or spend another season watching from the sidelines while the growers who did are already harvesting. That's your March planting list. 15 high-profit vegetables, a layering strategy that keeps your garden producing continuously, and a planting window that is open right now, and won't stay open much longer. If this video gave you something useful, something you're going to act on this week, hit the like button. It takes 1 second and it tells us to keep making content exactly like this. We notice every single one. Subscribe if you haven't already. We publish new videos every week covering practical, profitable growing strategies for serious gardeners. No fluff. No filler. Just actionable information that works in real soil, in real conditions, with real results. Turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next, because next week we're going deeper on market gardening strategy specifically for spring. Which vegetables command the highest prices at farmers' markets right now? How to price your produce with confidence. And how to build a loyal customer base from your very first market appearance. You won't want to miss that one. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 15 vegetables are you planting first this March? Are you going straight for the microgreens? Starting with spinach and radishes? Or are you building out the full-lead system from day one? Tell me below. I read every comment and I respond to as many as I can. And if you know someone, a neighbor, a friend, a fellow gardener, who's been talking about getting serious with their garden this spring, share this video with them today. March won't wait. But at least now they'll know exactly what to do with it. See you in the next one. Before you go, if you found this video helpful, then you'll love the full system I put together in my ebook, The Lazy Gardener's 30-Minute Garden. Inside the book, I show you the exact daily 30-minute routine, low-maintenance garden layouts, and the plant-once crops that keep producing for years. So if you want a garden that grows more food and flowers with less work, click the link in the description below and grab your copy today.